Hey foodies, we are going to try something interesting today in this world of smoking and trying to make things easier. We found out in the last experiment, in the last video, that we could Instapot and pressure cook wings and smoke them and get them done in much quicker time than we thought, and all the investment we used to put into really great smoked wings before. So watch that video when you get a chance. And so I was thinking, what if we could combine the portable smokers that you bring in your house and can smoke little whiskeys or just one plate at a time with? What if we combine that with pressure cooking? Is it possible to put the smoke into your pressure cooker or your Instapot with your food and actually have it pressure cook into the food and have it taste just as smoky without having to take your food out to a smoker and smoke it for an hour, 2 hours or something? What if we could get that instantly while it's pressure cooking? If that's the case, that would be awesome. So today we're going to give that a shot. What we're going to do is we're going to take the Instapot here, and we're going to take frozen chicken wings and some sauces, and of course your normal water, and a smoker. And what we're going to try to do is we're going to put the chicken wings and the sauces in there just like we normally would to pressure cook them from frozen. But then we're going to take our smoker and some wood chips, and before we get it cooking, we are going to get the smoke in with the batch before it cooks. So the smoke, as we saw with our whiskey experiments, kind of gets heavy and settles down. So we're going to give it a second to pump in, settle down, be in the pot, and see if we can close the lid gently without it all coming out. And then the smoke is in there, and maybe it will cook in with the food and mix in just like it does with the whiskey. So that's our experiment today. So how we're going to start this is we are going to, I'm doing this one-handed, so bear with me. I'm going to put in a cup of water. And I've already decided that I'm going to use the normal trivet rather than the fryer basket, although that would be easy. What I noticed is for smoking and stuff like that, you want to kind of reduce your surfaces for things to cling to and try to get it all in the food. So if I did use the fryer basket with the liquid under it and the smoke kind of all around it, I just felt like there's a lot of surface area for that smoke to cling to that is not the food. So if I just take them and I throw them on top of my trivet, then the wings are like pretty much exposed to whatever happens in that pot. So that's what I'm going to do. But before I get going, I am going to make this a little bit yummier than just water and pressure cooking. And I'm going to put in a little bit of a Sweet Baby Ray's for a little bit of sweet barbecue sauce. Some of the spicy barbecue sauce I have that's low sugar, no sugar, I need to use up. I'm going to put in some Frank's Red, which is awesome for making anything hot and making buffalo sauces and things like that. Put some Frank's Red to spice it up a little bit. A little Worcestershire for some taste, and a little bit of teriyaki. So I'm going to make up a little bit of just a nice brew of flavors in here, and that'll all cook into the chicken while it's pressure cooking. And then, of course, all right, so we got all of our sauces and all of our stuff in there with the water. We're just going to mix that up really quick. Always fun to do the mixing thing. There we go. And yeah, that's a lot of stuff, and it seems like a lot of different flavors, but trust me, it's going to work out just fine. All right, so got that in there, so that can all be part of the pressure cooking, steaming process. We're going to put our trivet down in here with the handles up so we can get it out easily. And we're going to just fill this thing up with a lot of great wings. And I've got the 8-quart one, so it's can fit a lot of stuff. I'm only going to go about halfway full because I feel like that can, I need some room for the smoke and the experiment, and I'm not going to be able to eat all the wings I'm making here anyway. Got to share. That's awesome. Fun to share. And we're going to get this rocking. So the sauce in there, the chicken's in there. Next thing I'm going to do is get the smoker going. So I bought this smoker online. If you watch my my whiskey smoking video and the experiment we did there, and it comes with this little hole, this thing with it, and a hole to put the smoke into it. And it just so happens that this perfectly seals the top of this. I have to hold it in place. And I'm just going to light the smoker up, put it in there, and let it pump in really heavy for a minute. And we'll come back and let it show you what it looks like when we're sitting there. It's going to be hard to do this one-handed. So we're going to do that. And then we're going to let it settle, let the smoke settle in there best we can. Then maybe hit it again and get as much smoke as we possibly can in there. And be really careful about getting the Instapot lid on so we don't disturb the smoke. All right, for the record here, I'm using a little bit of apple and a little bit of hickory. And when I say little bit, I mean little bit, like a couple little pinches of each in here. That's all you need for these machines. These bags we got off Amazon. There was like 4 different types that came for I think 30 bucks, and it was 2 pounds of bags each. I split it with a buddy because there's so much in there I wouldn't use it in 10 years because you're using pinches at a time. But these are an awesome buy on Amazon if you're looking for smoking chips that are like the sawdust level for these kinds of smokers. So I'm just going to turn this on, and we're going to hit it. And you can see the container starting to fill up already. Oh, my flame's not going as good as I want. There we go. Look at that smoke filling that thing up. This just works on a little fan that pulls the smoke down through. And this is not a rubber seal, so I've got to hold it on just perfect because it's almost the exact same size as the top of that. It's pretty full. I hit it a little bit more. I really want a lot of smoke in there. Ooh, the room's filling with smoke too. And it's pretty heavy. I'm gonna let that settle down. And by settle down, I mean like literally the weight of the smoke, like we saw in the whiskey glasses, should let this smoke like literally just kind of hopefully settle down into the pot. So I'm gonna pause here, I'll come back. So while that's settling down, a couple thoughts I had on this is, yes, you probably could with a device like this, just like it's built for, cook your wings, put them on a plate or something, and then smoke them while they're on the plate and get that smoke out on the kind of the surface of the food. The idea with this, and maybe we'll do something like that and compare the flavor. The idea with doing it this way is that can we get the smoke to pressure into the meat and be kind of more infused into it and be more like you had smoked it for hours, right? With that smoke ring and sucking into the meat and sticking to it without having to actually smoke for hours. I looked like it was calming down a little bit in there, maybe settling, so I gave it one more blast to get some more in there. I've removed the smoker from it now and I'm gonna let that settle down. Probably gonna lose about 5 minutes as this part of the process, we'll see. The one thing that's a side effect of this that we're gonna have to find out at the end of this experiment is, does your InstaPot smell too smoky? Does the smoke just wash out easily like anything else or any other smell? Or does it stick into the seals and stuff like that and ruin it? I have to buy new seals. I don't know. I've heard that might be an issue with like fishy smells getting in your seals and stuff. So we'll have to see. Smoky's not so bad, but that will be one thing to look into when we're done here. All right, it was almost all settled down or gone out of there, so I decided to hit it a third time. I just started thinking about the amount of chicken and all that in there. So I've actually hit it a third time. We'll let it settle down. Again, it takes about 3 to 5 minutes to settle down. So in all, if you hit it 3 times, you're probably looking at 10, 15 minutes of smoke time. Almost there. Most important part during this phase is as you're waiting to turn on some good music and chill out while it settles and have yourself a little bit of scotch or something. All right, we're at a point now where the smoke is almost all settled and I'm getting impatient anyway. I blasted it 3 times, so either that's all settled in the pot in different pieces and will mix into the steam mix, or it's slowly leaked out, I don't know. But what we need to do is we need to slowly remove this so that we're not causing air disturbance and wafting the smoke out of it. You can see the smoke is still settled down in there. Ooh, just moving it there the fast at the end. It's way settled down there. See how smoky, like a cloud? Ooh, it's coming. And we're slowly gonna put the top on the pot. Oh, great. There we go. Boom. So we've sealed that smoke in best we can. So now we are going to pressure cook these suckers. They're chicken, so we're going to take it down. People recommend 21 minutes on a 6-quart pot with a bunch of chicken. So I'm going to give it like 23 on frozen and go with that. And we'll check back with you when we're done. So as it's coming up to pressure here, I noticed, maybe you can see it, some steam coming out, which it should as it's coming up to pressure. And as I waft that toward my nose here, I'm not, and this is one thing I was worried about, like, is the smoke going to escape through that process? I'm not smelling smoke. And I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. Like, if should there be more smoke in there and I'd be smelling it, or that kind of thing. So I know smoke is not escaping, but I'm not sure what to think about the smokiness because of that. I do smell the chicken for sure in that smell. All right, the chicken is done cooking and taking the top off after releasing all the pressure. It looks like your normal drab looking pressure cooked food, of course. We do see all the sauces in the bottom. The smoke technically should have just been wafting through and pressure cooking into the food. So we're going to pull out one wing here. We're not going to get into all the basting and crisping and all that right now, because all we want to know right off the bat, without all that other stuff getting in the way, is there any smoke flavor in the chicken. All right, I pulled out one wing here. I took the second to remove the skin from it, because if it's not crisped up, I really don't care to eat chicken skin if it's not crisped up. And we're going to flavor out, test it out here. All I'm looking for is a little bit of smoke. Nothing at all. So that's a fail. That will do nothing. So the rest of the video, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take the chicken wings, I'm going to crisp them up, sauce them up, and we're going to do the smoking it on the plate with the smoker, smoking up the plate after it's finished, and see if that actually works for smoking food. My just my assumptions at this point is that with the pressure, the pot coming up to pressure, and other things, that smoke has just escaped somewhere somehow, and it doesn't stay in the pot and can't get in the food. Even though I didn't smell it and while it came up to pressure, it could have come out slowly. I don't know. I mean, technically the smoke is there, like we did with the whiskey tasting. It's there, like you can't get rid of it. It gets in your liquids and fluids and foods and stuff, but somehow it came out of the pot or just doesn't cut it. All right, so I'm going to just grab a bunch of these and put them over into my fryer basket. This particular InstaPot also has, it's the Duo Crisper, so it has the air fryer attachment for the top of it. You just take off the pressure cooker lid and you put on the air fryer lid, and suddenly you have an air fryer. So I'm going to do that. With air frying, you typically don't want to pile up your food deep because you want the air to get to it. So I would have to do this in 2 batches, which, I don't know, makes me wonder if air frying is even worth it half the time versus just throwing it in the oven and getting large amounts of food done at once. But for fun, I'm going to do these all in the crisper on here and get them crisped up, which is going to involve me air frying those for probably 5 minutes and then flipping them and doing for 5 minutes more at a high temperature. All right, we got the pot all cleaned out, all the sauces out. And by the way, all that sauce work I did with all the fluids in there, hoping that would cook in the chicken, I didn't taste that much in the chicken either when I did that taste test. So all that was probably for naught. Probably just use some chicken broth and just steam them up the way you want and not worry about all that. Put the saucing on afterwards. So we're going to put these in the air fryer. We're going to douse them with a little bit of olive oil to get them to potentially crisp up. Oh, if you'll hold your can the right way, you don't get anything out of it. All right, and we'll flip them and do the same thing on the other side. And this is the air fryer lid. You just pop that sucker on there. It knows that you're gonna air fry, so you gotta air fry. Oh, doesn't like my lid somehow. Okay, the problem there was it was still thinking it was in pressure cook mode, so I had to just basically tell it to cancel. We're going to go into air fry. 400, sure, sounds good, 5 minutes. It's going to take about a minute to get up to that temperature anyway, so I think it calculates that in there. Oops, air fry, 5 minutes, start. Here we go. Come back. All right, our first 5 minutes are done here. Just take this off and put it off this cool little don't burn your counter tray that comes with that. You can hear them sizzling. Hear that? Touching them. Yeah, you know, they got steamed and pressure cooked, and it's not like we patted them dry or anything, so They're sizzling, but wow, look at that. They're more crispy on the bottom than the top. That's interesting. So we'll spin them, and we'll give them 5 minutes. 5 more minutes. We'll spray them with olive oil and give them 5 more minutes. I got them all flipped here, and so what's interesting then is that air fryer really, more than anything, it made the pan hot and made it fry it like a pan on the bottom. The bottom's got crispier more than the top. But we're going to give it, again, 5 more minutes, and then we're going to try out our smoking test. All right, we're done with our second fry spin. It's all sizzling, looking pretty good. Just a commentary on the whole process and the time, though. Sometimes the InstaPot is just, frankly, not convenient and not special, right? And that's, if we compared what we've done today with chicken wings, frozen chicken wings, we put a bunch of wings in there, 10 minutes to get it up to pressure, 23 minutes to cook them, so you're at 33 minutes. And then we've done 5 plus 5 on the air frying. There's another 10 minutes, that's 43 minutes. And really, the wings right out of the bag, frozen, just call for you to put them on a tray and fry them in the oven for 50 minutes. And you could still get the same effect, right? So you spin them once in the middle, that kind of thing. So saving of maybe 2-3 minutes in the middle, I just don't know if it's worth it to have an extra appliance just for that. The pressure cooking and all that's is awesome if you're just pressure cooking and needing something to get up to speed right away. But for something like wings or, I don't know, things like onion rings or whatever, maybe if you're just going to make a few, it's okay. But if you're making large batch anything, it just doesn't make sense. I only got that many, and I still got those wings over there still to do. So I got to add another 10 minutes on top of it anyway. So just something to think about. It's only good for some applications. All right, so what we're going to do now is we're going to take all the wings, and we're going to toss them in a sauce before we smoke them. And so it doesn't really matter whether the smoke gets on the chicken or in the sauce. When we're smoking from a surface direction anyway and just kind of putting the thing over it, all we're really trying to find out is if the smoke will get on there good enough that we can taste it while we're eating it. I don't care if it's in the meat or the sauce at the end. I'm going to make myself kind of a funky sauce because I'm that kind of guy. I'm going to put a little bit of teriyaki for some zing. I am going to add some Frank's for one type of spice. I don't want to make these too spicy. Some sriracha mayo for another type of spiciness in it. This stuff is the best. Sriracha mayo. I'm going to add some sweet baby rays for some barbecue background and some sweetness. And then I'm going to throw a little, if you guys have ever had maybe like a raspberry chipotle or something, this is a Kodiak breakfast fruit syrup. It's really thick and nice. I'm going to put some of that in there so it gets some of that raspberry fruitiness to it. And then last but not least, I'm going to kind of mellow it out and cream it out with some blue cheese. All right, and we're just going to toss all of our wings in this. I'm just kind of a layers of flavors kind of guy versus one flavor. So if that feels like it grosses you out, that's fine. That's my kind of style. All right, we got them in there, and it's as simple as just like, typically, as simple just tossing your wings around in your bowl a little bit. With these round bowls, you can just... All right, we finished tossing them. We got them out on a plate here. And now we get to the point of our whole experiment, which is to smoke these suckers. So we are going to take our smoke gun, which we've loaded with some hickory chips. And we're going to plug it in. There we go. And get our fan going. And torch it. Look at that. Hot coals, hot smoke, loaded with smoke. Woo! Let it saturate there for a minute. About that. Wow. Get a little bit in the house. All right. And we're going to let that, I don't know, sit on the food for a bit. All right. Here we are. This stuff's been in there for about 5 minutes now. Going to just slowly waft this off, let the smoke come out. Looks all cool on camera, but did it actually make a difference? Is my food going to taste smoky? And at the end of the day, if it's on the surface or in the chicken, is all that other stuff worth it? Are smokers in general worth it? Think about it that way versus just injecting a little bit at the time you eat versus injecting it for 3 hours before you eat. That's kind of what I want to find out. So here you go. I can definitely Taste the smoke on the surface. It is not in the sauce. It is not the same experience as having it down in the meat in my mouth. I mean, I don't know why not. It should be kind of, but it's just not the same thing on the palate. That second bite wasn't so bad. That one's more like, that hickory's pretty strong though. In this case, it's more like getting a little bit of the black ash of a log versus getting the kind of the sweet smoke down inside the meat. And I don't know why the difference is that way, but it is. So it's definitely tastes smoked and smoky. It's definitely not the same way as slow smoking. And it's like, again, if you took some of the black charcoal off of a log and just kind of like sprinkle it on your food a little bit or something, and yeah, it tastes outdoorsy, it tastes smoky, whatever, but just not the same. I'll try one more just in case. A little thicker one. Yeah, definitely different. It's okay, it's yummy. It's not the same as smoking them directly in a smoker for a long time. So, no shortcuts today. No absolute wins today. Not on putting it in the InstaPot. Not on doing it directly onto the food. It's a fun experience though. The food still tastes good. But I hope those results and the experiments were fun for you. Hope you got something out of it. Talk to you later.